Call this regular meeting to order. Call roll.
Mayor Querom.
Here.
Councilmember Swanson.
Here.
Avery.
Here.
Gomez.
Here.
Newman.
Here. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start off tonight with any public comment. Just need your name.
And what do you guys think?
I'm Andrew Sims. I bought a powder paraglider here about 2 months ago. Went out to Ohio, learned how to fly it, took off the steering part, flew it 2 times, was asked not to fly it. I'm kind of on the agenda tonight about powder paragliding, so I kind of gave you guys a paper of the real basics of what powder paragliding is. Everybody thinks it's an airplane and you're going to come in and get people hurt. It's a whole different sport. It's a big parachute over your head. Trike is about as wide as me, and the fan's about as wide as me, about as wide. But the parachute's probably 20 feet wide. So it's like a big hang glider, except larger parachute. So you have, this paper says it's an 8-to-1 glide ratio. If you have it fully loaded, which very few people do, it's a 6-to-1 glide ratio, which means every foot you drop, you go about 6 feet forward. So it's a real slow flying aircraft. You don't ever want to fly in a wind that's over 10 miles an hour. Reason for that is it's a parachute. The more wind you get, the rougher it rides. So typically you fly the first hour or two in the morning, first hour or two or last hour or two at night, which is perfect for Zering Park, because out at Zering Park there's just nobody. There's people walking on the track, but the park itself, where like the soccer goals are and stuff, there's nobody there the whole time I was there. By the time I finally land, there's usually the guys that do the mowing, that kind of thing. And everybody says, oh, it's an airplane, but it's not. It's a powered paraglider. It's kind of a unique sport that's kind of out there. There's 33,000 of them in the United States, according to the Powered Paragliding Association. But it's a really fun, unique sport. And when they said they were going to kick me out of the park, I was like, so there's a lot more dangerous things. Riding a bicycle is worse than riding these, statistically. You're statistically more likely to get killed in a car wreck going to the park than you are flying a powered paraglider. And I'm not saying there's not stupid people out there that go out there and get themselves killed, but most of those are people that land in trees, they make power lines, they make their parachutes collapse. So there are the rare occasions that does happen, but there's the rare occasion that people drown, there's the occasion where people get hit on a bicycle. So to me there's an inherent risk, but it's really minimized if you with this sport, because it's not a normal airplane. So anyway, my whole deal is I felt it unjust to my sport if I didn't come and say, here's the deal, it's a really safe thing. I know there's no airplanes allowed on the park. I can understand that, because you got to go 40, 50 miles an hour to take off in them. So at 12 miles an hour, I'm airborne. So typically from me to the mayor, I'm in the air. I put a wing behind me, I give it gas, got my hands over my head. The wing comes up over my head by about that table, maybe a little further. I look up, make sure the wing's straight, look back forward, make sure it's clear. If the wing's clear over my head, by the time I'm just past you, I'm airborne. In Zering Park, when I took off back by the pond, by the time I was at the blacktop, I was probably 20 or 30 feet in the air. But again, you're only doing 15, 20 miles an hour by that point. Real high climb. So you climb out, and I basically circle the park. Come back down to land, and I can kill the motor. I've killed it anywhere from 5,000 feet clear down to 150 feet. Kill the motor, you come down and you got a big parachute. So you got brakes and you turn it and you just circle around. And again, it's got a 6-to-1 or 8-to-1 glide ratio depending on what you're doing. And even then, when you're taking off, I say it's a 12-mile-an-hour takeoff, but typically you got a 3 to 5 mile an hour wind most days. So if you got 12 miles an hour and you subtract 5 from that, you're at 7 miles an hour. So at 7 miles an hour I'm taking off. Most bicycles ride faster than that. And you allow bicycles and people to walk on the same track. To me that's more dangerous than what I'm doing, because I'm out in an open area and I wouldn't take off when there's people there. So I hope you would consider that when you make your decisions. And then Elaine says that the insurance just won't allow any airplanes. And I said, I can understand not allowing airplanes, but there's nothing that says, you can't have an exception that says we allow powered paragliders. And I wish the city and park district would allow that. I don't know what else to say other than it's been an awesome sport. It's really safe. It's a really enjoyable. I think it'd be good for Princeton. More people got involved. It's just a unique thing. You go up there and you go. So I took up a GoPro one day, just watching the scenery with the GoPro, and I took it to work. Everybody at work, people out on the street asked me to see it. It's a really unique experience. Really low, slow, safe environment. And I gave you a sheet to go through. Everybody's worried about something dropping out of it. Typically, everything you do on a powered paraglider, you secure it before you start. You don't let your carabiners drop, and you don't let even if I had a cell phone, it's strapped to something. I don't want to drop it. I don't want anybody hurt. I want to see this sport grow and be better, not restricted. So thank you for your time. And I highly recommend anybody go out. FlightJunkies.com. Kurt Pfister, the guy that trained me, they say go out and get somebody that's licensed. Well, there's no real license for it because it's an ultralight. So there's guys out there that say they got certificates, but some of those guys have gotten people killed. Kurt Pfister has over 1,300 people he's trained. He's had a perfect safety record in his training. Hence why I went there. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So now you're aware that there's 2 readings to this ordinance. Tonight is the first reading, and then in 2 weeks we will read it for the second and final time. And it really won't go into effect unless we all approve it at the second reading. So there's still another reading in another 2 weeks for. We're going to talk about this again.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Yeah, Elaine kind of explained that to me, and I've never dealt with the city. Actually, when I come in, kind of a couple of things other. So when I left down there, Kurt says, check the laws, check your local laws. Don't do anything illegal. Fly in the airspace, which the airspace is basically anything other than an airport or military or anything like that. So anything around here is the airspace, other than I can't fly over the city because you can't do populated areas. So I did. I checked it out, and all it said was non-manned aircraft. Well, I'm a man, so I said, well, that doesn't include me. And then I was told by the park district that no, that included me. So I came and asked your city clerk and said, is there anything I'm missing? Is there an ordinance out there? Well, no, there's not. But Elaine asked me to stop, so I did. So I tried to be respectful. Don't always feel like I've been treated that way back from the park district, but here to there, that doesn't. I want to promote the sport. So that's why I'm here. I appreciate your time.
Yep, thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, we'll go to the approval of minutes from our regular and special council meetings.
I move that we approve the minutes from our regular council meeting on September 3rd, 2019.
Second. Motion's been seconded. Any comments? Corrections? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Now we'll go to approval of invoices and city.
No, one more, Mayor.
I'm sorry.
I want to approve the minutes from our special council meeting on Monday, September 3rd, 2019.
Second. Motion's been seconded. Any comments? Corrections? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Now we'll go to the approval of invoices with City Clerk Nelson.
In the Department of Accounts and Finances for this period, we have invoices totaling $221,242.56. In the Department of Streets and Public Improvements, we have invoices totaling $100,879.10. In the Department of Public Safety, we have invoices totaling $115,721.44. And in the Department of Public Property and Utilities, we have invoices totaling $749,804.31. Mayor, all council members present have confirmed their reviews of all invoices and now are submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve the invoices as presented. Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments? Corrections? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Now Now go to regular business in City of Clerk Nelson.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-19-017. This is an ordinance authorizing the sale of Lot 11 in the Princeton Tech Park to JCOO Properties LLC. This is the second and final reading. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve ordinance O-19-017.
Second. Motion has been seconded. Any comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
I'll abstain.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-19-018. This is an ordinance authorizing the annexation of property along East Thompson Street. This is the second and final reading, and Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance, and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve ordinance O-19-018.
Second. Motion has been seconded. Any comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
I'll abstain.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-19-019. This is an ordinance rezoning property. I'll just mention that the Jonathan and Julie Mabry property that they just approved for annexation by code has to come in as a residential R1A district. They're requesting that it be rezoned as R3, which is a multifamily district. This has been through the Plan Commission, and it is recommended by the Plan Commission that you approve that. So, Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance, and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-19-019 to the second reading.
Second. Motion has been seconded. Comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
I'll abstain.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Turn the page. Next is ordinance O-19-020. This is an ordinance revising the city code to prohibit manned aircraft on public grounds. This is the first reading. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance, and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-19-020 to the second reading.
Second. Motion has been seconded. Comments?
I'll just mention that this is what he was speaking about previously. The Park District, typically their codes go by what our codes say, and then they have their own. So their attorney had recommended these changes, obviously for the safety of those at Ziering Park. So the recommended changes are in here, and like Jerry said, this would be 2 readings on this.
The other concern out there, too, is, especially over Ziering Park, is medevac helicopters that come in, and that's a concern as well. So that's weighs into this.
I have a question. So, Pete, did you put this together, or who put this ordinance together?
I put it together with the language provided by Bob Russell.
Okay. So I think I know the answer, but I want to clarify. So go to page 2. It says number 6 and number 7. Number 7, operate any non-commercial aircraft over any other person's property without the prior consent of the property owner. So when I go and look at non-commercial aircraft, and I look at the definitions for non-commercial, and so really, if I understand that correctly, so if a person had a little Cessna 150, that they were a recreational pilot that had a license to fly that, they, of course, could fly over the community. That's not the issue.
Well, I didn't change existing language, and that was existing language. Some of that was existing language. So, I guess that's up for you guys to decide.
Well, I mean, obviously, we wouldn't want to restrict a private pilot that has a license that wants to fly a airplane over the city. I just want to clarify that that's not what we're doing, right?
Yeah, I don't think this regulates that, but we can clarify that before the second reading.
Okay, because to go along with that, and I believe that's because we're not attorneys reading this, but on number 6 it says operate any non-commercial aircraft over schools, county facilities, or city-owned streets or facilities. So if you can't go over a city-owned street in the city limits, like, oh my goodness. So as long as it's not a licensed pilot, like a little 150 that wants to be up there in the air going across Princeton, or the helicopters that do, the helicopter rides during the Homestead Festival. I think I just want to make sure that we're not excluding them.
we can clarify that.
Thank you.
Motion has been seconded. Further comment? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson,
Aye.
Mabry,
Aye.
Gomez,
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is suspension of the requirement of the second reading for ordinance O-19-021. This is an ordinance imposing a municipal cannabis retail occupation tax. Mayor, all council members, well, I guess that's not, it's actually not a document, so you guys have to decide if you want to suspend that or not.
I'll make an official motion to suspend the requirement of a second reading for ordinance O-19-021.
Second.
Motion's been second, and I'll explain a little reasoning behind this. The legalization of marijuana is a new law, as everyone knows, and it seems that we're learning something new all the time. And last week, we learned that we do not have to have an ordinance to allow a dispensary in Princeton. Our city clerk, Pete Nelson, learned this through the Illinois Municipal League, and he confirmed it with Rick Joseph, our attorney at Miller, Hall & Triggs in Peoria. We also learned that it appears municipalities have until the end of this month to vote on an ordinance to place a tax on any marijuana business that might come to town. If we don't pass a tax ordinance by the end of this month and a dispensary located in town, we will not be able to collect any tax in 2020 for the sale of any marijuana products should a business locate here. As a result, we have this ordinance tonight to establish a tax on marijuana sales. Incidentally, I have seen where several other communities have done this throughout the state without understanding why until last week. So we are first voting to waive the second reading of this tax ordinance. We will do this because we do not have another meeting in September for a second reading. The tax ordinance, if passed, goes away if, at our next meeting on October 7th, the zoning ordinance fails in support of a dispensary. If that occurs, then we will be voting on banning marijuana business on October 21st. So the tax ordinance is really a do-nothing ordinance pending what happens with the zoning ordinance, which will go through 2 readings. If the zoning ordinance passes 2 readings, then the tax ordinance goes into effect. Otherwise, it dies. So that's essentially it. Any comment on the waiver? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson,
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez,
Nay.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-19-021. This is an ordinance imposing a 3% municipal cannabis retail occupation tax. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve ordinance O-19-021.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments on this ordinance?
If I could, Mayor, I know it's confusing in some ways because, and I'm not blaming you, you had and I hate to use from agenda, but we had a plan that was going to be voting for certain things, and now that changed effective Thursday by more information, but that's fine. It's a moving target. I think this whole cannabis thing is a moving target. I'm going to be voting no against this tax ordinance. I know that seems crazy that if it does come in, that I would be voting against the revenue, but I'm still against the idea of recreational marijuana being sold in the city limits, so I will be voting no against this tax increase or this possible tax that would be added to the sale of that. So I just kind of want to clarify, that's why I'm voting no to that.
Okay, thank you. Any further comment? Motion's been seconded. Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson,
Aye.
Mabry,
No.
Gomez,
Nay.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is Resolution R-19-031. This is a resolution authorizing GovHR USA to commence a city manager search. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this resolution and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve resolution R-19-031.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. This is being brought up because of Rachel's departure here in about a little over another month. And GovHR USA is the search company that we use when we hired Chief Tom Kammer, and it worked out very well. They're a very professional company, and so we've elected to go this route. Any further comment? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is Resolution R-19-032. This is a resolution authorizing a 3-year lease agreement on a city building with Steve Keitzer. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this resolution, and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve Resolution R-19-032.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Rachel?
So this is for the building off of Euclid Street that they rent out. They have for the last 3 years, and this is another 3 years with a 3% increase in the rent. I think probably after the next 3 years we'll want to look at if we want to continue that, but it has worked out well, so we're going to move forward if it's approved.
Any comment? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mavry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Now we'll go to city manager report.
Okay, thank you. I have the monthly financial report through August and the police and fire pension reports through July of 2019. I'll just point out a few highlights real quick. So this is 4 months into our budget year. Total revenue is at 39% and expense at 38%. Nothing is over budget, which is great, but like I said, we're only 4 months into the budget. You will see that the sales tax revenue for August of 2019 was significantly higher than it has been the last 6 years. So that was good. The hotel tax report is actually not correct because there was one that did not submit their receipts for August, so that will be updated next month. And then so we have the police and fire activity report. Viewcom had total incoming calls of 5,843. The fire department responded to 156 calls, and the police department responded to 676 calls for the month of August. That's all I have. Are there any questions?
Rachel, if I could ask, how about, I know, and maybe I missed this, you're doing this about every 2 months. How about building permits for new homes, residential homes? Where are we at now, Pete, total? 4. Good. That's great. Good news.
Any further comment? Questions? Okay, thank you, Rachel. Under mayor report, I have marijuana dispensary update. Essentially, I gave an update under the waiving of the second reading. So I'm just going to kind of open it up here, and if anybody wants to speak on the issue.
So, Mayor, if I could ask them, so what's going to happen then is Planning and Zoning Commission, which is a board of 6 appointed individuals, they will have the wrestling match to decide about whether they feel that the zoning is appropriate or they're going to pick the zoning area, things like that. So they'll have the heavy lifting on this, and then after their recommendation, then we as a council get to vote on that, whether we in favor or not.
Exactly, and that will be at our, I think, the second meeting in October. Yeah. So, and you know, if the ordinance on zoning passes in favor of a dispensary located here in the zoning chosen, then we'll go through 2 readings. And as I mentioned, the tax ordinance would then go into effect after the second reading. If it fails on the second meeting in October, then essentially we're not allowing a dispensary to come into Princeton. And then the second meeting in October, we would have an ordinance that would be banning marijuana businesses in the city. And that too would go through 2 readings.
I've got a comment, Mayor. I just wanted to let people know my position on the marijuana dispensary. I know last time we talked, I was still trying to think through this whole thing, so I've got a statement that I want to read tonight. I will not vote to ban marijuana dispensary in Princeton. When we began talking about an ordinance to allow a dispensary in Princeton, we asked for feedback from the public. We wanted to determine the sentiment of the community and proceed with our ordinance based on public feedback. With approximately 1,400 responses, we learned that 80% of the respondents were in favor of a dispensary in the city of Princeton. It's my job to listen to both sides of an issue and make a decision that is consistent with the majority. We live in a democratic society where laws are created to serve the people. That means every citizen has a voice, and their government makes laws based on the will of the people. Our democracy doesn't allow me to reject or ignore the voices of the majority. This vote is not a referendum on whether marijuana should be allowed or banned. It's about allowing someone to open a business.
I know I've fulfilled my obligation to the community as an elected member of the city council.
Yeah, and I've had a couple emails today from people as well on this issue, and a lot of what I hear a couple different things, but one of the things I hear is that we're all about the tax dollars coming in, and the tax dollars would be for sure a new revenue source for the city, but it is not the reason why I'm okay with the dispensary locating here, should someone decide to open one. And I have 4 primary reasons why I will not vote to ban a marijuana dispensary here as well. Those reasons are, and we've talked about these before, but they continue to hold. Marijuana will be legal. On January 1st, it will be no different than alcohol in this respect. As with alcohol, the legal age for entering a dispensary and using the product is 21 and over, and it is a choice for people that are adults. It's a choice for them to make. The overriding issue for me is, do we ban someone from opening a legal business in Princeton whose intent is to sell a legal product at retail? And my position on this is no, we can't do that. If we do, I'm afraid that'll set a precedent that we will one day regret. A majority of residents who have made themselves heard support allowing a dispensary opening here. They're okay with it. If someone should decide to do so, I had it was mentioned earlier, I had a poll on Facebook. Voters can only vote one time, and those who voted are identified by their vote. Over 1,400 people voted, and 82% of those who voted support allowing a dispensary to locate here. And on both sides of the issue, voters ranged in age from the 20s to 70 plus. And I've also heard personally, email, one-on-one, private messaging from many people on this issue, and by far the majority favor allowing a dispensary. I heard a lot about it this past weekend during Homestead Festival. I have also heard from some that this is an issue of morality. I've mentioned this as well. The morality of marijuana use, however, was settled when the state legalized it. I also do not believe that we were elected to be the moral authority of what people in town can do legally when it involves the use of illegal product or from where it can be purchased. The morality of the issue is individual. When the state legalized marijuana, it put municipalities in a difficult position. From the council standpoint, it really is an unfortunate and difficult position to be in. But on an issue that has as much support as this one does, and also considering the items that I have just mentioned, again, I will not vote to ban marijuana dispensary from locating in town should someone desire to do so. Any further comment?
I also haven't made my statement yet, and I will also support it. The majority of the people I've heard from do support it. I will wait, though, for the zoning, because I think zoning is going to be a very important issue on what they come up with to recommend to us.
Could I add a comment, Mayor? So I appreciate social media because I'm suspicious of it, but I'm the guy that still has a flip phone. So I rely on what people come to me, and they come to me and they say, Ray, I want to talk to you about this issue. And it might be recreational marijuana, it might be selling the old recycling building on Main Street, but people come up to me, or they call me, and they talk to me the old-fashioned way, and they communicate with me the old-fashioned way. I've only had one person come up to me and say they were in favor of it, and they tried to argue with me why, and I appreciate them coming up to me. So please, if you're in favor of this, come talk to me. I'd like to have those 1,100 people come see me. My phone number is 815-878-1981. I can be reached from 5 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. I go to bed kind of early, but I get up early. So if you want to talk to me, please do. But overwhelmingly, the people that talk to me are definitely against it. Definitely against it. And they're telling me that they say they're proud of me for voting the way I did. And I appreciate that. And I'm sure you have just as much passionate people on the opposite end. So I'm not saying that Jerry and Joel are wrong. I just get a different communication device from people. And what I hear from them face to face or over the phone is they want me to vote against recreational marijuana being sold in the city limits. So that's where I'm at.
It's kind of the same here is I've received different communications through various residents of the city of Princeton, not outside Princeton, strictly the city of Princeton. And the majority has told me to include the ones that, if I'm in a restaurant going somewhere at Walmart, which is walking or something, where they have stopped me and had there's folks say no. I've also had other people that emailed me and they have talked to them in person, they said yes. But to me, the majority of people that I've talked to, the residents here in Princeton, have stated their opposition for this marijuana.
They aren't being heard, not by me, that's for sure, and I don't, that's kind of an odd thing. You know, it's just a kind of a weird thing. I hear from, again, I'm on the flip side. And social media, you know, you can say, what you want about social media, but there's a lot of information on social media regarding our community, and you pick up a lot of information on social media. And there's nothing that's anonymous on social media. They're posting with their face, their names, and everything. So I just think it's a strange occurrence to have so many people that I hear from obviously support it, and very few who oppose it. Although I have had people tell me that they oppose it, no question about it. But,
also along with that, I want to say is that even though it's federally illegal still, that the state made it legal here, that they still need to go ahead and provide actual accurate information from actual studies that are out there of the effects of marijuana. And not only that, I believe that it is the people's choice of what they want to do. I'm not going to tell somebody that they cannot go have a drink, or I'm not going to tell somebody that they can go smoke. But it's up to the individuals to go ahead and be responsible enough not to be able to operate a vehicle because they're hungry, or continue to operate a vehicle because not only are you putting yourself in danger, but you're also putting other people in danger as well that have nothing to do with it.
yeah, I don't think anybody up here disagrees with that at all. So. Any further comment? Okay, any old business tonight? Any new business?
Mayor, if I could, and this is just an interesting thing, I had the opportunity last Tuesday night to go to Geneseo to their city council meeting. They meet twice a month, and it's very interesting. I enjoyed sitting in on it, and they had the public comment like we have, and they had the bills and things like that. There's 8 aldermen, which would be similar to our 4 council members. They are elected every 2 years. I thought that was interesting. I went away from there boggled by that. The mayor and the 4 or the 8 aldermen have a 2-year term. That's it. So they're always running, and it was brought up at that meeting about how a public comment was made that it's hard for them maybe to make a tough decision on something that might be a negative impact on the community, but be good overall for them. And because their re-election term is 24 months, and they're back up for, and that's why I got to thinking the mayor there is a nice, very nice lady. But I remember there had been another lady that was the mayor, and then before that another lady. So then I realized, okay, I've been on the council 6 years. They've had 3 different mayors there in the 6 years I've been on the council. So it's a tough group, and if you don't perform there, you're on the street. But one of the things I thought was interesting, and I bring this back home as an idea for just some discussion down the road, not tonight, unless you want to discuss it. But like the county board here in Bureau County, they have a person that says a prayer before the meeting starts. And I know we're not here tonight to discuss morality or the religion and the church and the separation of government. I'm just saying that they open their meeting with one of the ministers from their Geneseo Ministerial Association that says a prayer. And I thought that was so great, because I think we always can use a little prayer. And I just wanted to bring it to the council's attention that maybe the Princeton Ministerial Association would be considered to come here, say a quick prayer, we have the Pledge of Allegiance, then go into our meeting. They do that. They've done it for years, and I thought that was one takeaway. I thought was a nice thing. And again, Bureau County does that at the county board level.
And it's kind of interesting. In our talks with OSF, when we have meetings with OSF, we start every meeting out with a prayer. Catholic institution, so something to consider going forward. Absolutely. Any further new business? Public comment?
So on the Power Paradigm, lighter subject, what do you guys think? I mean...
You never get me up at one, I know that.
I understand that, but like me, it's just been a thrill minute. So. And I understand the legal part of it, but I would love to see you guys do some research and understand how safe it is, and before you do your next vote. And I know every lawyer is going to say don't have any risk out there, but everybody knows there's risk out there every time you get in your car, every time you walk.
Are you looking to find a plan B, another location, should this not go your way?
Well, I've already been looking for plan B, so I haven't quit on that, but I just...
Right. Sure.
So I guess my question is well, what can I do to help better your decision as far as Park Paraglide?
Yeah, well, first of all, the Park District property is the Park District property, so obviously you know that. And the other thing about flying in that area of town, as I mentioned, is the medevac helicopters. And,
I can see it for miles. Understand the other day, the last day I flew, I saw the guy that does crop dusting, black helicopter, which is kind of hard to actually see when you're up in the air. But I could see him from probably a mile and a half away. And that's the reason that they said I landed because I wanted to refuel. I actually saw him going up, and I said, he's got a job to do, so I landed and tried to. So like the medevac helicopter, I could see it south of Tisquel, or I could see it clear north of Princeton before they would even get near me, so I could be on the ground and land it and out of his way. So, and that's an airspace, so I wouldn't get in his way anyway. That would just be stupid on my part. So.
Yeah, I can promise you that we'll look at the issue. Yeah, we will, because this is new to us, obviously, but I promise you we'll look at the issue before our next meeting, and if there's anything that changes, we'll get it changed. I mean, I don't have a problem with it myself. I mean, I've seen, not you, but I've seen other with ultralights flying over, especially over Zering Park in years past. So I know it's popular, ultralights, and with parasite, what you're doing, but we'll just have to take another look at it.
LightDunkies.com. Go there and look. You would.
Well, safety and liability seems to be the prevailing issue right now. That's what we have to sort through.
And everybody says that, but understand it is it's safer than riding a bicycle.
Well, until something happens. And if we can prevent it, that's what we're here for. At least we need to think thoroughly through it before we make a decision.
And I understand that.
You've got every opportunity to come back in 2 weeks and tell us some more.
I will.
All right.
Their emails are on the website, too, if you want to catch them in between.
Children, just need your name.
You know me?
Yeah,
My name is Geraldine Woodleaf. I live here in Princeton, and I have a question. Since you are basing your vote on 1,400 people who said something to you on Facebook, do you realize all the people that don't do Facebook had no idea it was on Facebook? So if we get a count of many more and they don't want it, are you going to vote that way? You don't have to answer, but that's my question. The other is, does this mean I get tired of people smoking on Main Street and now I'm going to have to smell the marijuana?
They can't smoke it on public places. It only be smoked in home, in the backyard.
That means that somebody won't want to buy that house. Have you any idea if somebody's growing it next door to you, it impermeates your house, your carpeting, your towels?
I don't know if it can be grown outside. Isn't that indoor?
I know somebody who has a neighbor who's growing it right now.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there's several.
Where is that?
Here in Princeton.
Any other public comment? Okay, I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting to reconvene at our next.
And move that we adjourn tonight's meeting and reconvene for our next council meeting on Monday, October 7th, 2019, 7 o'clock at City Hall.
Second. Motion to second. Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned, and thank you all for attending.
Best water in town, that's what the Beatles tell me. I have a different